Today we're going to look at 7 ways the MDC can be part of the solution for Zimbabwe. Stay tuned. My name is Ndumi, and I'm an African who's got a passion to see Africa become all that God intends it to be. In this video, we're going to look at 7 ways the MDC can be part of the solution to the crisis that Zimbabwe is currently facing. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Number 1, the MDC has to reform their leadership. If you look at the current leadership structure, most of their leaders are lawyers. The problem with this is that it does not represent the broad spectrum of people in Zimbabwe. Ideally, a political party should have people from all walks of life. That way, they can represent each individual's issues well. Maybe that's why it seems like the MDC is not being effective, because they are suffering from a form of groupthink that comes when you hang around with people with the same way of thinking and the same way of processing life as you. You need a diversity of voices, and you need a diversity of ideas in order to bring out the best of any political structure. Each way of thinking actually comes with its own blind spots, and I think that's what the MDC are currently struggling with. We are the trade unionists, like the late founder Morgan Tsvangirai. We are the development leaders, we are the community leaders, we are the business leaders. A party needs all different types of people in order to best serve their constituents. And that's the pith and the fulcrum. Number 2, they need to adhere or redraft the party's constitution. We are tired of hearing of all the legal battles within the MDC. To my previous point, that's what happens when all the leadership are from one way of thinking. They're very litigious and love to fight their battles in the courtroom. I guess that old adage is true, that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. As lawyers, you'd expect them to understand the importance of drafting a good party constitution and even more so, sticking to it. By having a robust constitution, they'll understand the runnings of the party and be able to focus on other things instead of court battles. Number 3, we need that 2023 manifesto now. They need to start sharing their vision of the future, and they need to put it down and distribute it so that the people can have a look and make contributions to it. In their manifesto, they need to show that they understand the plight of the people and put forward their solutions and show exactly how they plan to bring solutions to the problems. That leads us to point number 4. They should push for electoral reforms now. Instead of waiting for the last minute to start complaining about how the electoral process is flawed, they need to put in the time now to making sure that they're lobbying for these reforms to take place. In the last election, that was one of their main complaints, but now, in 2020, they've gone silent on the issue. They have less than 3 years to push this issue, so they better start looking at it now. In 2023, the people of Zimbabwe should not accept this as an excuse, especially if they decide to remain silent until 3 months before the election to raise up their issues. Number 5, they need to vocalize their solutions. Watching opposition politics in developing countries, you see that they have active shadow ministries. These ministries talk openly about timely issues that the country is facing at that present moment. They put together their own list of solutions that they would recommend if they were in power. And sometimes really, you even see them agree with the way that the government is doing things. This form of active shadow ministry is very important because that's where we get to see their decision-making skills and their thought processes before they actually get into power. This is good because it gets put on record, and then we're able to review back and see how they would have made decisions if they were the ones in power. I know this is when the MDC will now chime in and say, but there's no freedom of press, so how can we air our views out fairly and freely? However, right now, there are at least 2 large independent newspapers in which they could share some of their views and opinions. And with the way technology is today, they could run their own YouTube videos or have Facebook videos that they share with the nation or the people regarding politics. There is no reason that they shouldn't be able to set up their own media system and structure where they can effectively engage the people of Zimbabwe. In 2020, there's no shortage of media sources to reach the people of Zimbabwe. Number 6, they should come to the negotiating table. In 2020, if they want to become part of the solution to Zimbabwe's problems, they need to be open to negotiate. This means a little bit of compromise here and there. We know that they refuse to accept the legitimacy of the president. But the time for politicking and grandstanding is over. If they love Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe, they'll humbly approach the government and try to get them onto the negotiating table. Zimbabwe needs dialogue. Most of our problems can be found together and solutions if we come down and sit together and talk to one another. The challenges of this nation are too big for any one party to handle alone. We need all hands on deck, every Zimbabwean coming together to bring solutions and to help us find a way forward. The big question in all of this is who will be the bigger person, who will humble themselves for the better of the country. And number 7, the MDC needs to advocate for the lifting of sanctions over Zimbabwe. In a time like this, the country needs to recover and the country needs to heal. And there is no disputing that sanctions have affected the way we have run our nation. And yes, sure, they shouldn't advocate for the removing of sanctions of the individuals and companies who are engaged in corruption, but they need to ask for the wider lifting of sanctions over Zimbabwe. This will show their love for the nation over the desire just to see the ruling party fail. It's now time for the question of the day. How else can the MDC be part of the solution to end the crisis in Zimbabwe? Please comment down below. I look forward to reading all your comments. In conclusion, my desire and the desire of the people of Zimbabwe is for there to be a credible opposition party in Zimbabwe. The best way to do that is for them to get their act together, to sort out their house first before they want to lead the bigger house. They need to be organized and to prove to people that they're more than capable in leading a nation. Right now, they're riding on the back of the fact that they're the only real opposition party in Zimbabwe at the moment. And if they do not reform, well-organized parties will arise in their place, and the MDC risks being lost in the books of history. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, please share it with your friends, and make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any new videos. Take care.